Has someone ever challenged your authority? How did that make you feel? Well, my son, then 20 years old, stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Dad, that's bullshit." I felt like I'm getting punched in the gut. All I wanted to do was to teach him one of those parental life lessons of my mistakes that I don't want him to repeat. What do I get in return? A punch in the gut. That's bullshit. Now, if you've been with me in the room, you would see my anger in the form of hot lava bubbling from my stomach to my lungs, to my throat, and out, screaming for 2 whole minutes. Then, my wife. Um, aren't you that coach that teaches people how to feel their emotions, so react to their emotions? I feel like I'm waking up from a dream, a bad one. I've lost control. I was reacting. It felt like I'm running on an autopilot. I didn't feel bad about being angry. I felt bad about screaming at my son uncontrollably. Being angry wasn't the problem. Emotions are not the problem. The autopilot is. So that night, I laid in bed and replayed that moment. Why do I react so strongly? Something about these 2 words, that's bullshit, sets me off. So I decided to feel it fully, to sit with it, not to push it away. Very quickly, I could feel again the anger bubbling, the contraction in my chest, and the heat in my body. I asked myself, where does this all anger come from? This is completely disproportionate to my conversation with my son. Then I realized that this sensation of anger is not unfamiliar to me. I've been living with this underlying vibration of anger underneath the surface since I can remember. Hmm. This isn't about my son's words. It's about how they make me feel. His words were just a trigger to a hurt and angry place in me that was just waiting to be felt. Now, with even more curiosity, I start to calm my mind, curious about where did it all begin. Then I see it, a memory I didn't connect before. When I was 13, I was bullied a lot. 2 boys, one of them was much bigger than me, made my life hell. They laughed at my shoes, so I went and bought new shoes. They laughed at the new shoes. They laughed at my clothes. They laughed at my hair. They laughed at how I dance, how I talk. Nothing that I did helped me stop the bullying. And I felt powerless, helpless, worthless, and angry. This is where I started to connect the dots. I developed an unconscious strategy to stop feeling helpless. If someone even hint that I'm lacking value or I'm less off, my anger would erupt and I would attack. If someone at school would tell me, "You don't understand," trigger, anger, attack. If someone at work would say, "It doesn't work this way," I would hear, "You don't know how things work." Trigger, anger, attack. When my son told me, "That's bullshit," trigger, anger, attack. And here's the truth. Anger once protected me. It just didn't need to run my life anymore. I used anger as a defense mechanism. I used anger to stop feeling powerless. The unexamined emotions run our lives. Anger controlled how I react. We all have these hurt places that haven't been fully felt because it was just too much for us when we were young. So what we do? We push them down. We build defense mechanisms around them, but they don't go away. They linger underneath the surface like hot bubbling lava, just waiting for that situation that likely hints to the original situation where they were created. Then they erupt and we kick in the autopilot. Our emotions are not bad. Our emotions are a doorway, an invitation to these hurt places in us that just want to be felt and be healed. And that's what I did. That night, I went back in my mind to that young 13 years old boy who was angry. And I allowed myself to fully feel my anger. And oh boy, I felt it. I felt it. It slowly integrated and calmed down. Hmm. Next day, I invited my son to have the conversation again. Hey, son, can we talk again? I'm sorry about yesterday. Now, you could probably guess that about 3 minutes into the conversation, he said it again. That's bullshit. Trigger, anger, awareness, compassion. I could notice the anger rise in me. And in that moment, I chose to lead with curiosity instead with the autopilot and asked my son, tell me more. We continued to have the conversation for another hour. Before awareness, there is no choice. There is only reaction. You cannot choose what you cannot see. Examine the emotion, awareness appears. Awareness creates choice. Awareness creates space. And in that space, something radical happens. You are no longer responding to your past. You are present. You have choice. Unexamined emotions run our lives. Examined emotions let you respond from who you are now. So the next time you feel the lava rumbling and rising in you, don't fight it. Don't shame it. Examine it. Because in that moment, who shows up changes everything.